Woo! Hopefully, everyone is doing good. Now, I'm working with a different angle here. You guys let me know if the angle works. Hold on one second. I did just finish eating a little bit, a tiny bit, of some Doritos Flamas that I had left over. And I downed it with the rest of my Monster, which is why I am a little hiccupy. But that's okay. So, of course, I have to wait and see that I can see myself here on the tablet. If you guys can hear me loud and clear, please throw me a thumbs up. I very much appreciate it. And there I am. I do see myself. As you guys can see, my hair is growing back in. I do like it a lot. I'm going to go with a drop fade and then just continue to grow this up. But welcome everyone. So there's a lot of knowledge today. I am going to wait for everyone to receive the notification for the most part. Let me move this a little back. I feel like it's maybe just a little too close. If we have to shift that up, we will. But man, all right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope everyone has been good. How has everyone been? Genuinely, from my heart, from the bottom of my heart, hope everyone has been good. Lately, it seems like time is just going by way too quickly. How are we here at Christmas already? So it's already December, 18th, 19th, whatever it is. It's the 18th today. How did 2024 go by that fast? Well, I mean, that's just kind of how life is at times, right? But what we do know is that this year has been a year full of blessings. Hopefully it's been a year full of blessings for everyone else. For everyone who does celebrate Christmas, have you finished your Christmas shopping? Let me know. So let me go ahead and check the chat here. Let's see who's here. So we have Stormy Day saying hi with like 20 eyes. That is so awesome to see. Stormy Day, 9th like. Thank you so much for making it onto the live stream. Is flavor of Doritos... Wait, Stormy Day. Is flavor of Doritos is chili best? Wait, what? What? So my favorite flavor of Doritos, I don't know if anyone... The people who are close to me, they know. Flamas are the absolute best flavor. Now, those are habanero flavor. They're pretty spicy. Actually, Doritos took a while to make a big version of the Flamas bag. And I can't finish a whole one. Now, of course, I mean, for those who don't live in America, you'd be like, well, God, I hope you can't finish a bag on your own. Thing is, if I wanted to and if I was really hungry, something like a big bag of Takis, I feel like I could do some damage to that. But anyway, we also have Jenna Rose saying, howdy, Jenna. Haven't seen you here on the lives here in quite a bit. Hopefully you've been doing good. Here, if anything, let me get a better angle there. I think that's better. Hold on, let me. There we go. I think that's way better. Boom. There we go. That should be good. Ladies and gentlemen, today the market crashed. There were some news. There were some financial news today. Jerome Powell came out on the live FOMC press conference. Now, this is what this live stream is going to center around, and then at the very end, we will get into the Christmas festive spirit. We'll go over basically some tech deals that I've seen. If anyone is upgrading any of their tech this holiday season, let us know down below. But okay, today, FOMC. So FOMC, what that is basically is the federal commission that votes on how interest rates are going to be affected in the economy. Now, I know that some people watching, maybe there are some investors on here. Sometimes there's not, right? And that's okay. What I always advocate for is for everyone to start investing early. The power of compound interest works in your favor when you have more time, okay? So it's very important to start early. I mean, even myself at 29, I know that at my generation, millennials will call themselves extremely old, but we're really not. Because if you think about it, a 30-year-old, say, because I'm 29, right? Let's just say a 30-year-old, right? If a 30-year-old starts investing now, and let's just say that they happen to live a nice, long, healthy, average lifespan to, say, 85, right? So that means that that 30-year-old has 55 more years for their money to make money. 55 5 years. Now, I do see already that Mr. Carlos Delgado is on the chat saying, uh-oh. Also, Stormy Day says credit card equals bad. Stormy Day, I used to be a banker. Stormy Day, credit cards can be used for good, okay? They have their advantages if you know how to use them correctly. Now, the downside is that most Americans with a credit card is dangerous, right? Like, I mean, there's a common stereotype around the world, especially if you travel internationally, that Americans survive on credit. Not only is our money already a debt in itself, but then we've created more debt on top of the debt with credit cards, right? So if you go anywhere outside of the USA, especially in Europe, Latin America, I haven't been to Africa, but I want to say that it's probably the same way. And in Asia, all of these cultures are very cash driven, right? So like, especially when I was down in Argentina, Uruguay, and Colombia, it was a hit or miss if they accepted debit or credit card, right? Not to mention, I mean, Amex down there, American Express, forget about it. No one's going to accept your American Express card in a foreign country. So this is where it's important to start investing your money, right? So anyway, getting down to the nitty gritty. Today, Jerome Powell came out and said that we are going to have a 25 basis point cut to our interest rates. What does that mean, right? In layman terms, that means that borrowing money is now going to become cheaper, even if that's by a quarter basis point, right? And so what do they mean by 25 basis points? 25 basis points basically means 0.25%. So for anyone who's well-versed in mathematics, that means that is 1/4 of 1%. It's negligible, to be completely honest. If your credit card rate, let's just say you're carrying a balance, let's do very simple numbers. If you have a credit card balance of $100 and your annual credit card rate, let's just say is 10%. Let's make easy numbers, 10%, right? Then at the 10% rate, your $100 in 1 year, you will be charged $10 in interest, right? That's 10% of 100. Pretty easy to follow, right? So $10 interest in a year on your $100 balance. Okay, pretty nice. Okay, pretty standard. So now that quarter basis point reduction now means that the interest rate now fell from 10% down to 9.75. So now if we switch the numbers, this now means that you will now pay an interest on average $9.75 on a $100 balance versus $10. So you save a quarter. Okay? It doesn't sound like a lot, but lately a lot of Americans have been feeling the pinch of higher prices, right? So going to the grocery store nowadays is not cheap, right? So like you could even go in there. The other day, when was it? So at my job, we like to do a lot of grocery runs, right? Sorry, not grocery runs. Gas station runs, because if we had grocery runs, then we would need a whole dang kitchen at my job. No, gas station runs, right? Why in the fuck? Sorry, there's my first F-bomb for the live stream. I have 2 more. Why in the hell? The other day, I went in there. I got a NOS, right? A NOS Zero. So that's an energy drink. Just basically think about a Monster, right? 16-ounce can, nothing major. 1 bag of Doritos Flamas, favorite flavor, right? And then a chocolate bar. Tell me why, when the clerk told me that the total was $11.13, I said, huh? $11 for a chocolate bar. Not even king size. Not even king size. A chocolate bar, a NOS, and 1 bag of chips. $11. Man, now this is me. I mean, I'm a millennial, okay, right? So this is me showing my age. Again, I'm a millennial and I'm very proud of it. I remember the good old days. My first job ever was Burger King, and I started working there when I was 16, and I stopped working there when I was 18, right? So like, I've been working since I was legally allowed to, right? Now I'm 29, so really I've been in the workforce for like 13 years or whatever. I remember when a Whopper meal, right? A decent Whopper meal. You can go out and buy yourself something nice to eat on your lunch break. Whopper meal, $5.50. With tax, $5.80 or whatever. Want to add cheese? Bet. You're barely at $6, okay? So consider the amount of food that you get with a Whopper, which that burger's pretty big at Burger King, You get that, you get your fries, and then you get your drink. $6, okay? Compare that to that gas station run that I was telling you guys about. You get one energy drink. I know they're bad for you. Can I just drink an energy drink without everyone telling me that they're bad for me? I know they are. Trust me, I'm an adult. I know what I'm doing. Anyway, energy drink. Small bag of chips, not even the big one. Small bag of chips. So the NOS, the chips, and the freaking Hershey's. That is $11. So anyway, all of this I reiterate to say that when Jerome Powell came out, the chairman of the Federal Reserve, today at 2:30 p.m., what made stocks tank today, if anyone who's investing, Tesla, as you guys know, is down 9%. Literally, if you just go to Yahoo Finance and if you look at any stock, more than likely it's going to be down. Now, here's the reasoning, okay? The markets are very irrational and they play a lot off of the psychology of people, okay? The reason that is down primarily is because Jerome Powell came out and said that their forecast, again, this is just a forecast, this isn't anything set in stone, was that for the next year, i.e. 2025, that interest rate cuts are going to go from 3 rate cuts in the year down to only 2. So next year, our government in the United States anticipates to only cut rates twice in 1 year. And that means that rates are going to get cut by a minimum of 25 basis points or 0.25%. So that means if we have 2 of those, and that means we only have half a percentage decrease in our interest rates. Mind you, this year so far we have 3. So what does this all mean? Okay, that means that, again, if you're the person who carries any kind of credit card debt, that means that now that is going to be reduced a little bit. Your debt burden is going to be reduced. Now, that's on the micro economy, right? So that's for us little people, right? So for anyone that carries credit card debt, you'll see some relief in your interest payments and lower minimum payments on average. Now, what does this mean for the macro economy, right? So for the macro economy, think about all your startup companies. Me and my friend Carlos, who I don't know if he's still on the live chat right now, I like a company called Hims. Now, if you guys have seen Hims, you guys know the commercials about them. I've never ordered anything off of their website, but I understand the magnitude and the power that they have. So for anyone that doesn't know, Hims, now rebranded as Hims and Hers, Hims, it started out as a company who wanted to help out men in general, men basically kind of get the medical help that they need for those kinds of scenarios that aren't life and death. Think about male pattern baldness, right? So that would be something that someone would go to Hims for. Say maybe you have ED, which I'm not going to say on chat because I'm minus the F-bomb, I try to keep it maybe a little PG. But if you have ED, then that is, and if you don't know, just Google it. You can go to Hims. But now they've rebranded as Hims and Hers, right? So like say for people with male pattern baldness, right? Maybe at the age of 23, they start to have a receding hairline. That is where Hims comes in, right? So this company I think is very big, or will become big later in the future because men have a notorious reputation of not going to the doctor. And on top of that, a lot of men, and trust me, I'm a man, have a notorious reputation of not vocalizing kind of their health concerns, right? So there may be some men that may be putting on a ton of weight really suddenly, right? Or maybe it could be someone who like I said is going through male pattern baldness, which for y'all women watching, I understand maybe it's not that big of a concern for y'all. Pattern baldness does exist in women, again, but it's very few people. It's very common amongst men, though, right? And so this is a company that I think in the future is going to have a lot of potential. All of this to say is that those kinds of companies would be considered small to mid-cap companies. That means that they aren't like these monoliths, these gigaliths like Microsoft, Tesla, Facebook, Apple. They're not these big companies. They are these smaller companies that are just starting out. So these smaller companies have to take on much more debt
than bigger companies because they're trying to make it out there, right? They're trying to get their business out there. They're trying to get their name out there. So on a macro level, right, what does this mean? Well, if rates are going down, most, if not the majority, the vast majority, and when I say vast majority, I need you guys to understand that that's going to encompass about 80%. When I say the vast majority, that's at least 80% of companies on average carry more debt than their larger cap counterparts like Microsoft or Apple or whatever, right? So this decision to lower the interest rates means that those small and mid-cap companies, therefore, at the end of every quarter, have more money in their pockets because now they have to pay less interest to their creditors. So let that kind of soak in. On a macro and on a micro level, the reduction of rates is really good. Okay, now I'm going to stop here because I know that this is a lot of information thrown at you guys. By the way, I do have my handy dandy, what is this called? A tumbler. Yes, my tumbler. As you guys can see, Rocky Mountain tumbler. I don't know where I got this from. This isn't mine, actually. I mean, this has to be my family's, but got good old classic water here. I'm going to catch up with the live stream here just because I feel like I've been saying a lot of information. But give me 1 second. Let me just take this drink of water, and then I'll catch up here with the chat. All right, so Stormy Day says, I got my Christmas shopping mostly done. I'm getting my uncle an Xbox One controller tomorrow. Nice. Very nice of you. But I got my stepdad a Resident Evil Edition Xbox 360 controller. Dude, Stormy Day, believe it or not, I do remember being at GameStop working as an assistant manager and seeing a lot of those controllers. Very nice gift. Stormy Day. And I got my mom a Barry Edition PS4 controller. Nice. So it seems like in your family you have a ton of gamers. That's awesome. Cruz Andred, am I saying that right? Don't trip, buy the dip. Yes, sir. That's another thing that I was going to say. So thankfully here on my iPad mini, I have Thinkorswim, which is basically a charting application where you can look at different tickers. Okay, what I want you guys to look at, so I myself am pretty invested in Google. Google recently had that announcement that their supercomputer or their super chip is able to compute enough information for like trillions of years worth of regular computers, which is groundbreaking, right? This is why their stock is up so much. Now, what I want to show everyone, especially for those that are into investing, such as Carlos Delgado, hopefully you're still on here, my boy. Look at this. So this would be a 1 hour chart on Google. And so every candle represents 1 hour. Let me make sure that you guys can see that. Let me turn up the brightness. So we're kind of already coming up. For those that don't know how to read this chart, it's very simple. Red candle means down. Green candle means up. Okay. So there it is. So this is the chart for Google. For anyone who's on YouTube right now, you are using a Google service, right? So pretty crazy to think about. But there it is. That's the chart of Google. And as you can see, it's already recovering. Let's look at the triple Qs. So the triple Qs, known as ticker QQQ, this is the one that tracks the 100 biggest tech companies in the United States. Now, as you guys can see, again, let me change it to a 15-minute chart. That way you guys can see it a little better. A little bit of recovery, not too big on the triple Qs, but still pretty decent. Hopefully you guys can see that there on camera right there. So what is the lesson to learn here? I bought the dip. I definitely bought the dip. Now, here's just the thing. Especially for all of my Americans, what you have to understand is the reason stocks are down is mainly because of two reasons. So during the FOMC conference, when Jerome Powell was speaking, he basically said two things that spooked the market. Number one is what I mentioned before, is that their rate cuts are going to go from 3, their forecast at least, and again, I reiterate to say that this is not set in stone. This is just their forecast, okay? This is their prediction. Went from 3 rate cuts now down to 2 in the next year. On top of that, though, their forecast for inflation went up by 0.3%. Now, for those of you maybe you're not that well versed at math, that is 0.3% increase in their inflation estimate. Doesn't sound like a lot, but for anyone who's an American, and I mean, I know that inflation is worldwide. I get it. Don't trust me. I know that it's just not confined here to the States. But what that basically means is that prices are going to stay like this, or at least going to go up even more from here. And this is where I think politics is so funny, right? Because if grocery prices continue to go up and if inflation continues to go up, guess who's going to be blamed? At that time, it will be the President-elect Trump. And that is just how politics work. It's just how it works. So people who don't understand how the economy works, of course, when all of this inflation was skyrocketing due to the after effects of COVID, guess who was blamed? The incumbent president, Joe Biden. So what I predict is that inflation is going to start to tick up and prices are not going to go down. And then, of course, Trump will be blamed. Now, this channel is not a political channel. Those people close to me probably have a good idea of my political inclinations if I haven't blatantly told you. This isn't a political channel, so I'm not here to tell you sides. What I'm telling you is that you must be prepared, because if the government is anticipating for inflation to go up, even if it's by 0.3%, that's not good. That is not good at all. And part of that inflation increase is coming because something about the stock market, for those that aren't in the stock market, is that the stock market is forward seeing. In other words, the stock market will always predict information it already has about the future and then prices it into the stock price action, right? So the stock market generally already has an idea of what they anticipate to happen in the future. And because Trump has these proposed tariffs, that is not going to be good for the American consumer. It's just not. It's going to be great for the governments to make more money off of these tariffs, but it's not going to be good for us, the consumers, because then the cost gets passed down to us. Here's a perfect example to drive this idea home. Let's take a company like Altria, right? Altria is the company that is the parent company of a lot of these nicotine-based products. Think Marlboro or like Juul, right? Now, while I don't consume nicotine products, I do understand that it has a massive, massive, massive market base, right? There's so many people out there who consume nicotine products, okay? So this is an example of a company like Altria, right? Let's just suppose that you are a Mexican. You're in Mexico, I'm Mexican, but let's just suppose that there's a person who is Mexican and he lives in Mexico. And let's just pretend in this hypothetical world that Marlboro doesn't exist anywhere else in the world but the United States, okay? Now, if that Mexican living in Mexico wants Marlboro cigarettes, guess what? They have to buy it from the United States. Now, if Mexico sets tariffs on all nicotine products, then that means that Marlboro, the company Altria, in other words, when they're sending their product from the United States across the border into Mexico, then Mexico will be charged a tariff. In other words, it's like a tax. Think about it that way. Now, you are the biggest tobacco company in Mexico receiving that product, right? You're receiving the Marlboro cigarettes. What do you think as a business owner? Do you think you're just going to eat that cost and be like, oh man, this sucks, so then it looks like I'm just going to eat this cost? No, of course not. They're going to offset that and pass the cost on to the consumer, us. Again, I want to say, I don't smoke and I don't advocate for the use of any kind of tobacco products. If you're an adult, you know what you're doing. I don't care. I mean, I don't judge, right? It's just, if you consume tobacco products, you know what you're getting yourself into. Just like with alcohol, just like with all things, sugary diets, you know what you're getting yourself into. If you're an adult, you should know. What I'm saying is tariffs are not good for the economy in general, for any economy. And so that is what the market is already pricing in. So this is in general why the market went down, is because inflation is expected to tick up once again, after having inflation go down consecutively for like 10, 9, 8 months. And I want to reiterate that it doesn't matter what president is in office. The Federal Reserve is a bipartisan entity. That it doesn't matter if you're independent. It doesn't matter if you're on the left. It doesn't matter if you're on the right. This is monetary policy. And we together as a cumulative set of people come together and we try to make the economy work as best as we can. So that is the gist of what happened today. I know there's plenty of questions, and I know that I've been talking a lot. So let me try to go ahead and see what I can do here with catching up here with the live chat. Stormy day. Right here. Jenna Rose, 2024 finished. Still no date with Juan. Fingers crossed for 2025. Oh my God. Stormy day. I also got my girlfriend a pink DSi with a very big stylus and a game. A DSi. Dude, I remember when those things came out. I had the original Nintendo DS. I think it was in red. It was like that ruby red color. And I loved that thing. I remember getting, I think it was Pokemon Diamond as my first game on the Nintendo DS. And man, what a time to be alive. That thing was, that console, that Nintendo DS was amazing. Although its predecessor, the Game Boy Advance SP, I rocked that red one, that like bright crimson red one for a long time. And I clocked in at least more than 1,000 hours on Pokemon Emerald. Like crazy, crazy shit, right? Vicente says, eso primo hermano, let's go. Jenna Rose, that's cute, Stormy. She'll love it. Yeah, she'll really love it. Yay. Stormy day, I missed 2019 prices. Jenna Rose says, real, agreed. There's nothing decent about a Whopper. Hey, whoa. Hold on. Wait, Stormy day, wait, hold on. We're not going to talk down on Burger King on this live stream. I'm going to just tell you that right now. This is directly to Stormy day. I'll say it again. Stormy day, we not finna talk bad about Burger King on this live stream. And it's not just because I work with them. But I love a Whopper here and there. Don't get me wrong. I know it's fast food. I know it's considered in the same categories like McDonald's, Wendy, whatever. I love me a good little double Whopper with that Swiss cheese. You get it with everything on it. You get, your little medium fries. And Burger King is pretty good about customization. So you can do half fries, half onion rings. Now, I normally skip out on the drink and just down it with, a little water here and there. But every so often you feel a little bold. And you have enough crown points on the Burger King app, and you get a nice little Hershey pie with your meal. And let me just know, that meal finna cost you around $10, $11, but you're gonna eat like a king. You're gonna just feel very, very full after all that. So with this, I'm saying Burger King's actually not that bad. I love Burger King. I am an advocate for them. And I want to reiterate, it isn't because I just worked for them. It's just the truth. Burger King over McDonald's, over Wendy's, any day. I promise y'all. Jenna Rose, 2018 was my prime. Jenna Rose, can you explain to us why 2018 was your prime? Stormy Day says, I'm not kidding. Back in 2019, an original 3DS used would have been $90. And a few weeks ago, I bought an original 3DS and it cost me $90, and it's on the cheap side. No, I understand. Yeah. I mean, I think Stormy Day, I don't know what year you were born in, but like a fresh new copy of Pokemon Emerald for the Game Boy Advance SP is going to run you, mind you, when it came out, it retailed for like $50 or whatever. But now, brand new and sealed, you'll probably pay $300-$400 for a brand new copy of Pokemon Emerald. Like, why didn't anyone tell me as a kid, like, hey, some of this shit might be worth money in the future, so you should probably take good care of it? I'm sure the classic example is that Charizard first edition holographic card that I know anyone born in the 90s remembers, right? I'm a 95 kid, right? So I remember when the first edition ever Pokemon cards ever dropped. Like, first fucking batch, right? Oh, there's my second F-bomb. First batch ever. The Charizard first edition holographic, man, if you found it in a pack back in the day, it was lit, man. You was jumping up for joy. Little did you know, little did your 7-year-old ass know that if you would have just saved that card, taken it from the pack, put it in a little card protector, them little sleeves, right? And just forgotten about it for 20 years, that little card could have turned into tens of thousands of dollars. That is just insane to me. Like, these 90s kids fucking, like, there's my third one. Okay, so I can't do anyone anymore. Like, some of these games for the Super Nintendo, the Nintendo 64, like early copies of Pokemon on silver and gold, or better, like red and blue. Like, dude, if you can find those sealed, thousands upon thousands of dollars probably is what the price tag is going to be. It's just, it's pretty crazy. Carlos Delgado, like 20 minutes ago, said hymns is when I was talking about hymns, but he did say ticker hymns. Shout out to Carlos. Vicente says, I have ED, I have education. Vicente, bro, you is wild. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Let's keep it PG, though. Cruz and Dread, look at you go. Hello, my brother-in-law is big on hymns. He got me in at $13. So Cruz, man, dude. So I've always known of the company Hymns just because you see it on commercials all the time, especially if you're on YouTube. Again, I haven't ordered from them before, but who knows? I mean, Hymns is just kind of that kind of service where, like, anything health related, especially for men, it's confidential, and I think that's where it stems from. This is why I think a lot of men don't seek medical help, even though they could have a procedure, or they could have medicine, or they could have something that could drastically improve their lives. It's just we as men, we don't really tend to vocalize our needs as much. We need to get better at that. And to my collective kings who are on the live stream and are going to watch the replay of the live stream, I'm here to tell you that we as kings, we as young men and older men, it doesn't matter, but men in general, we need to be better about getting our regular doctor's visits, and we need to be better about vocalizing our health concerns, because there's hundreds of infections, diseases that can be avoided if they're detected early. So just remember, kings and queens, so this goes in general for everyone, make sure to take good care about your health. You have one body. Take good care of it, please. All right. Stormy day, and a new 3DS XL used can be as much as $300 for a used one. Are they that rare? God damn. Carlos Delgado says BTC nuking during the live stream, by the way. No, not during the live stream. Let me actually check. What is Bitcoin at right now? Ooh, no. Bitcoin went down that 100K level, but there's still plenty of support right there. If anything, it looks like support is right there. So for anyone that does technical analysis, you can kind of draw a line. Now, I'm not sure how well you guys can see that. I really don't know how well you guys can see. I wish I could draw a line here, but I see a line right here diagonally, just like that, and it looks like it's right at support. So tomorrow, if it breaks that, then look out below, timber, because we're going back down. But I think this is an overreaction of the market, if you want me to be completely honest. I don't think that it should have been that overblown. Cruz says the roaring 20s are coming. Invest in small and mid-cap innovation companies. I picked IONQRKLB and SOUN under $7. We're just warming up. Cruz, I'm actually going to take a screenshot of that because I'm going to do my research. And I may invest in those because small and mid-cap companies are the ones that are going to make you so much money. Think about NVIDIA. NVIDIA is the classic example of rags to riches. So when NVIDIA first started, NVIDIA, by the way, if you guys have never heard of that name, they're a semiconductor company. So they make chips, and they are basically chip companies are the reason that our smartphones and tablets and smartwatches and game consoles have been able to advance at the pace that they have, is because it's thanks to these semiconductor companies. So these chips, they're very powerful, and they continue to get better and better. Right now, NVIDIA is trading around like 128 level or whatever, 128 to 130. But there was a time where when NVIDIA first started, one share of their company may have been worth 25 cents, 50 cents, adjusted for the split, for anyone who knows what that is. But you could have bought this company post-split adjusted for like a quarter, one share, mind you. So if you had $10, and let's just say it's a quarter, well, let's do some quick math. There's 4 quarters and $1, so that's 4 times 10, because there's $10, or I'm sorry, going from $1 to $10 is times 10. So if we do 4 times 10, that's 40 shares that you would have had, right? Off of $10. Now, mind you, this is an example that maybe you had to do it like 10 years ago, but still, the point still drives home. So from $10, you got 40 shares, okay? Making sense so far? From these 40 shares, if we multiply it by the current share price, let me actually look at what the share price is instead of trying to guess. But if we look at NVIDIA right now, where is NVIDIA? I do own a couple shares of NVIDIA. It is at 131.17. So if we then multiply our 40 by 131.17, we arrive at $5,246. So this is what you would have made in capital gains. Actually, let's subtract our principal. That is what you would have made in capital gains. You would have made $5,236 in this hypothetical example. And actually, let's look at the NVIDIA chart and see when 5 or 10 or whatever years ago, whatever its price was. So here is that NVIDIA chart. If we go back all the way to April, let's say September 30th of 2013. September 20th of 2013, NVIDIA price, as you guys can see, was at 38 cents, hovering between 38, 40, 45, depending on where my finger moved. Point is, it's under $1. So this is a realistic example. That means, again, that you would have made, oh my God, just a fortune. You would have made $5,000 on 10 bucks. Okay, now let's try to scale that up. What about with $100? Then that is just a multiple of 10. So if back then you would have invested $100 into NVIDIA, today, you would have had $52,000. Now, let's just say that you were a high roller and you were able to invest $1,000 into NVIDIA at that time. Again, just another multiple of 10. So if we now multiply by 10, now that $1,000 investment would have turned into $524,000. $500,000 off of a 1K investment. This is what I'm talking about. This is the power of compound interest and investing in general. And that was just in the span of 10 years. So you could have gone from dropping $1,000 on one of this. At the time, NVIDIA was a small / mid-cap company that many people saw as just like a rookie. It was like the underdog, right? But now look at its market cap. It's up there with Apple. It's up there with Microsoft. It's up there with Tesla. So I really, really, really do like that Cruz came on the live stream, because I really do appreciate your participation, man, and you're bringing up a lot of good points. Jenna says, I believe he goes on these tangents so he can skip my comment. What do you mean? I go on tangents all throughout the day, Jenna. Stormy Day, Apple Watch SE 2 versus the PSP. No, I'm not going to talk about the PSP because that thing was ahead of its time and I could talk about it for 30 minutes, so I'm not going to do that. Aaron says, El Salvador made BTC an official currency. Aaron, yes. Carlos Delgado he's on the live stream, or I'm not sure if he clicked off already. I think it's past his bedtime. Yeah, Nayib Bukele, the president of El Salvador, has been buying 1 Bitcoin from like the start of his presidency, basically. If you go on X and if you research his name, he flexes his portfolio. His Bitcoin gains are like at his portfolio value on Bitcoin is at like $624 million for a country. So El Salvador owns $624 million worth of Bitcoin. Yeah, pretty crazy. That's what their president is doing. Stormy Day, I do have 4 Pokemon games, that being Pokemon Ruby, Pokemon Diamond, X, and Pokemon Moon. Nice. I was born in 2006. Stormy Day, get out of here, bro. You're 11 years younger than me, so kid. Literally JIT status. So Stormy Day, you're what, 18? God damn. Anyway. Stormy Day, all the 3DS Pokemon games are still fairly cheap, so the next year or so I'm going to get all the 3DS Pokemon games because the DS games, most of them went up. The GBA games skyrocketed. Yeah, the Game Boy Advance games definitely did. Vicente dice, it depends on the grade, KD, the Charizard card. If it's grade 9 or 10, then yes, thousands. But if it's a regular hollow Charizard, it's not worth too much. No, yeah, Vicente, that's what I'm saying. Like, let's just say that you had, like, some kind of like psychic powers and were able to look into the future. If you were to pull that out of the pack and immediately put it in that card holder and preserved it, then it definitely would have been a grade 10 or whatever it is, and thus been worth tens of thousands, especially if it's a grade 10. Stormy Day, almost every Pokemon Game Boy Color game are still fairly cheap except the Crystal. I wonder why that is. Is it because of Suicune? Jenna Rose, I don't know, 2018 was just a good year for me, and holy moly, you're young, Stormy Day. Yes, Stormy Day is very young. God damn, 18. Vicente says, talking about mental health, all men watching this get an HPV vaccine, helps protect against some nasty HPV strains. I do want to say that, like, when I was like 17 or 18, our doctor forced us to get those, like some kind of HPV vaccine, and I just remember them putting it in my butt cheek, my right butt cheek. And I thought that was weird. I don't know if that's TMI. I don't know if any other dude here in America has gone through that. I don't know if that's weird or not. But okay, iPad mini died. Okay, then at least I have 7 other devices right next to me that I can kind of look at. No, seriously, I do. Maybe not 7, but like 4. I see a couple iPhones here. Let me catch up here, guys, because it is the holiday season, and tomorrow I have a lot of things to do, namely round out a lot of Christmas shopping. So I'm going to try to wrap up here pretty soon. Vicente, Google with content chips will go up as well over time. Yes, they will. Cruz says IONQ is the quantum play. Okay. So Cruz, if I make some money from this and some very serious money, I want us to keep in contact. Then that way I can throw you a little kickback, maybe a little cash up or something. If you haven't added me on Instagram, please do. You can find my Instagram or any of my socials, especially on X. Actually, if you can follow me on Twitter or X, that'd be better if you have an account. But all of my socials will be on any of my regular videos, man. Just go to my description and you'll be able to see. Just because I love anyone who's like invested in the market, throws out some knowledge, might throw out a ticker. Ticker, by the way, is like the company's symbol for the stock market. So like, for example, Apple's ticker would be AAPL. Something like Coca-Cola, an unorthodox ticker, believe it or not, Coca-Cola's is KO. Something like ExxonMobil, their ticker is XOM, ZOM. Okay, so yeah, that's what a ticker is for anyone that doesn't know. Cruz says NVIDIA gave a list of small companies it's pushing for its chips. Sown, NNOX, Serve, couple others. It's been explosive. So I'm going to have to... Man, Cruz, we got to talk a little bit more. I feel like you know a lot about the stock market. Kayla B throwing the hi. Hello, Kayla. Nice that you made it. Jenna Rose, I just noticed your hair looks great. Very soft. Thank you. So this is actually my hair with product right now. Sometimes I wake up and my hair is looking majestic. It's just like I woke up like this, right? Other times, like right now, it's kind of fluffy. It is kind of soft. It very much is. Plus, I'm very thankful that at 29, by the way, for my guys watching, they say, right, there's a saying, that if you have your hair at 30, then you have it for life. So I'm 29. I have yet to notice any kind of receding in my hairline, so I think I'm good. Plus, my dad, may he rest in peace, when he passed away, he was, I think, 56, right? So he's 56, and like the top of his head, the very top, like if you looked at his head from an angle, from a top kind of bird's eye view angle, it was starting to bald right here at the very top. So that means that I at least have a good little 30 plus years of a full head of hair. So not too bad. Not too bad. I'm pretty happy about that. That means I probably won't be hitting up hymns in quite a while. Thank you, Jenna, for that compliment. I appreciate it. Kayla, everyone got it. Honestly, if your parents did what they were... Wait. Kayla says, everyone got it. Honestly, if your parents did what they were supposed to. Wait, what are you talking about? Stormy Day, I also have a DS Lite. I got it for like $60 a month ago, and it's a rose gold version. Nice. That's a nice grab for Stormy Day. One day, I'm just going to have you tell us on chat all this tech that you bought like from the year or whatever, because it seems like you buy a lot of cool tech. And then Stormy Day says, also the battery life is insane on the DS Lite. Like my indicator on it is now turning red and I haven't charged in like 3 weeks. 3 weeks? What were they putting in these batteries back in the day? God dang. So, all right, guys, that's the end of the chat. I was able to catch up, thankfully. I know that my mouth has been running at like 90 miles per hour. So excuse me if I was talking a little bit too fast. Caleb B says, shot. Still don't get it. Wait. Everyone got it. Honestly, if your parents did what they were supposed to, shot. I still don't get it. Maybe I'm just slow. Vicente says, just keep working out and try to eat greens to help fight balding. K2 is a 12 vitamin that your hair needs, but body doesn't store. So people that don't eat healthy don't restore that vitamin and bald. Well, shout out to my amazing mother, Hilda, for always making meals literally from scratch since we were born. I mean, almost every meal that she makes is from scratch, from raw meat to spices and ingredients. Everything is pretty much from scratch. So shout out to Hilda for always feeding us good food. And I feel like it's one of the reasons why at 29, I still feel so youthful. You know what I mean? Like, plus not only that, but it was weird. So for any of my guys that can relate, I don't know who can, but I remember going from no beard, I'm talking just completely clean face. I had a mustache actually in 8th grade, a very thick one at that, very thick mustache at 8th grade. Yeah, an 8th grader having a very thick mustache. So I had a lot of testosterone already in my body, right? But I'll never forget just going through puberty as a guy and just being like, what is all this? And then getting your first armpit hairs and then getting your first hairs, you know. I was like, whoa, what is going on? And then your voice deepening, like that was just whoa. So anyway, I don't know how I got on this topic, but I know myself. Oh, wait. Yeah, Vicente, because he was talking about the K-12. And again, shout out Hilda. Again, it's always best to eat your food not as processed. So, like, I mean, if you can get, let's just say, vegetables preserved and frozen versus organic and fresh, man, you got to do the organic and fresh. Now, of course, I understand that a lot of people, organic ingredients are more expensive, and that is the truth. They are, which is why America has had an obesity epidemic for so long, because a decent salad for you is going to cost you $7, $8, $9, but a McDouble, it's not $1 anymore, sadly, but a McDouble is going to cost you like $2.50, right? So like you could get 3 McDoubles and arguably feel much fuller than paying for one single salad, and that contributes partly to the obesity epidemic here in the United States. But it's just so important to know and realize what you're putting into your body. Cruz Andred says, I know my stuff, but you're on the right track. You said small and mid-cap companies, that's the play. Look for innovation. Crypto is innovation. Stay investing. You'll be good. So, Cruz, man, I really do want to appreciate you. Yeah, man, I've been in the market at least now since I was like 22, 21. So, I've been in the market for about 7 years. I do know what I'm doing on the market. Sometimes I've always said, well, not sometimes, rather always, if you want to get good at investing, you just have to lose money to understand the feeling of losing money. It's like with all things in life. I was talking to my mom earlier. My little nephew, Samuel, he's 11 months old. He's just now starting to walk, and he adores me. And I adore him. I love that child. He's starting to walk, right? And so he's having to bust his little butt here and there, right? He'll fall. That is the whole point of learning how to walk. If a child isn't going to fall and learn from his mistakes, he's never fully going to learn how to walk, right? And so it's the same thing with investing. Sometimes, I call it tuition. Sometimes you'll lose some money and it's going to sting and it's going to hurt. So long as you got a good head on your shoulders, you're not going to bet the farm. And by that, I mean, if you got $10,000 to your name, why in the F would you YOLO a play $10,000 worth on something that has like a 10% probability chance of winning, and now you lost all your life savings? So there are dangers to the stock market, but so long as you're not stupid with it, man, you can set yourself up for success later on in your future, so long as you start early, starting now. And it doesn't matter if you're 50, if you're 40, if you're 60, if you're 21, just start now. With time, mathematics will be on your side, and that money will compound annually, okay? So I just want to throw that out there. Kayla said HPV. Oh, I thought we were talking about alcoholic shots. This makes a lot of sense. Now that you said HPV, everyone got it. Honestly, if your parents did what they were supposed to, this makes a lot of sense. Yes. Okay, thank you. I felt dumb there for a second. Yeah, my mom definitely made sure we had all our shots, and I'll never forget that one, because I want to say that's the one that was in the right butt cheek, and that did not feel good at all. That felt weird. That shot was something else. I'll say that much. All right. Stormy Day, how to make Juan feel old. The DS Lite came out 18. Ouch. 18 years ago. I was 11. I was 11 when it came out. Better times, simpler times. I definitely love the time period that I grew up in as a kid. This was the time period before technology. You still had kids laughing and playing outside. Yeah, you busted yourself up and fell while playing soccer. Yeah, you got in fights here and there because you're arguing with your cousin because the goal that he made should have been disqualified, but he's your older cousin, so he's trying to play the whole I'm older than you card. And then y'all end up swinging on each other, and then y'all fight, and then at the end of it, y'all end up hugging it out, and y'all keep playing, and then you drink water from the hose. Ah, yes, good times. Any millennial kid knows exactly what I'm talking about. Vicente, subscribe and follow your boy Juan. Thank you. Kayla B says Juan is old. It depends on your definition of old. Obviously, I'm not a kid, but nah, I I have so much to live, and I'm hoping God and the universe protects me and keeps me on this earth for as long as possible because I want to stay here. I've always said, if word ever comes out that I unalived, okay, I know this is getting grim. If there's ever any word that comes out that I unalived myself, it wasn't me. It wasn't me. I'm just letting everyone know right now, it was not me, okay? So I don't think that that's going to happen, or hopefully, I don't know. I just knock on wood, right? I'm just saying. I'm just throwing it out there randomly, okay? Not me. I would never, okay? I not me. So just know foul play. Just know this is actual 4K proof. If that ever happens, someone retweet or whatever, repost this live stream. Wasn't me. Okay? All right. I know I said I was going to end this like 10 minutes ago, and I haven't. Vicente Cruz, there is Juan's X, aka Twitter. Cruz, you got an IG? Yeah, I'm on G and Twitter under the same name. I don't go to IG much. Okay, I'll send you a message on Twitter. Okay, bet. Stormy Day is the original DS, came out in 2004, 20 years ago. Stop with this whole 20 years ago. There was a funny thing that I saw earlier, or rather like last week or whatever, that says that for 90s kids, the 70s, which back when we were born, right? Like think, 90s kids, we thought of the 70s as such a long time ago. Well, especially for someone like me that was born in the middle of the 90s, we are the same distance away from my birth year. Say, let's just say 1995, the very middle of the 90s. Same distance away from the 70s and the 60s than we are to 2024. Like, that just kind of blew my mind. I was like, wait, actually they have a point, because when I was born, 1965 was 30 years ago, and now 2025, I'll be 30. I'm gonna have to log off, man. It's now hitting me. All right, I think I'm gonna go, guys. No, I'm just kidding. I'm gonna finish out. Supreme X finally got the magnetic charging dock for my Series 10. Nice. How's that going for you, Supreme X? I'm sure that you were pretty excited about that. Cruz says greatest investment opportunity in the history of markets is right here, right now. Don't miss it. That's what I've been saying. This is what I've been saying. I do want to. Of course, it's all speculation, right? But I do think that we are in the bull market of the century. Don't let this little noise affect you guys. Stocks will always, in the long run, continue to go up. Why? Something just fell from my microphone. I don't even know what that is. What fell? The crap? Oh, I see what fell. It's right here. Have I been using this mic that much? Anyway. All right, gonna finish out right here really quick. Pokemon Red Blue came out 26 years ago. I'm not gonna read these comments anymore. I'm tired of feeling old. This whole like X amount of years ago, I'm done with it because that makes me feel old. Kayla says, change your topic. Knock on wood. I know. Stormy Day. Nope. 1080p. The original Game Boy Advance came out in 2001, 23 years ago. God. Our 1970s. Exactly. So when we were kids, when us 90 kids were children, the 70s now is what? Oh my God. To my little like 3-year-old nephew, Ezekiel, I'm his 1970s for me. Jesus Christ. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, thank you guys for making me feel old as heck, even though I'm not. I'm 29 years young and still full of life, extremely full of life. And on top of that, so long as God and the universe protects me, I have many more years here on earth. Hopefully. So, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the conclusion of this live stream. As always, thank you guys so much for making it so talkative. I doubt there's been even 10, not even 10. I'm going to say 5 seconds of silence, which is kind of crazy. How long have I been live streaming for? 53 minutes, and I promise you that within those 53 minutes, there has not been a single instance where 5 seconds of passive silence. That is hard to do, ladies and gentlemen. So if you haven't already, go ahead and click that like button, because it is kind of hard to be out here just talking straight for 53 minutes. But anyone who knows me in real life knows that I can, especially if it's a topic that I really like to talk about, man, I can talk your ears off for hours and hours and hours. Don't let me, because I will. So guys, let's see. Today is Wednesday. This upcoming Sunday. Oh yeah. So Christmas is coming up. Jesus. Okay. So I will be streaming on Sunday then in that case, and I'm going to skip the Wednesday stream because that is going to be right after Christmas, and I understand that people are going to be busy and whatnot because I think Christmas Eve is on Tuesday or Monday or whatever. So anyway, point is, Sunday stream, expect me. The Wednesday one for next week, don't expect. Ooh, excuse me. There go those hiccups. Next Wednesday, don't expect me. All right, guys? So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for everyone who made the live stream. It's always such a blast to be on here. I always expect to be on here for 20, 30 minutes, and I end up being here for double that time. It's just because you guys make it just so fun to interact with. So, thank you once again, guys. I hope everyone who celebrates Christmas has a very Merry Christmas. I know there's a lot of other holidays that are celebrated, such as Hanukkah, El Dia de los Reyes in Mexico, for example. It's not celebrated on the 25th. It's celebrated on January 6th, but it's very similar to Christmas. So there's just so many traditions out there. So happy holidays to everyone. Here in America, the primary holiday we celebrate is Christmas. So Merry Christmas to everyone who celebrates that. Hopefully you get some nice gifts. Always remember that it genuinely, at least for me, it's much, much more wholesome, more fulfilling to give than receive. I always love giving more than I receive on Christmas. What I'm looking forward to is seeing my little nephews open their presents and just be ecstatic. I know you guys have seen children get super stoked and super excited about opening Christmas presents, as we all did. I remember when I was a kid, and man, whew. It's just such a nice feeling to see kids happy, you know what I mean? Especially when they're your own blood. Like my three little nephews that I have, they love me and I love them. Like they know that they can always trust on their tío Caco, right? So anyway, guys, I hope everyone has a good night. Well, depending on where you are in the world, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Thank you guys to everyone who made it. Don't forget to drop your like on the way out. And with that, I'm clocking out for now. I will see you guys on Sunday right before Christmas to wish everyone a very happy Christmas. Merry Christmas. And until then, catch you guys on the next one. Make sure you drink your water. All right? Bye now.